Progressive internet addiction is associated with the negative mental health symptoms of loneliness and isolation, depression, anxiety, a decreased sense of well-being, and problematic sleep. These problems are prevalently found in young adults from various demographics. This replication study was undertaken for two reasons. First, because our studying habits. As online graduate students, we are required to interact regularly online. The second, because the indication of internet addiction in all participants. We all agreed that it can be easy to drift away from studying habits to engage in problematic social media use, especially late at night. Having already qualified as having internet addictions and our chosen study path has left us all vulnerable to experiencing negative psychological symptoms and academic performance issues. For these reasons, we thought that participation in this type of study could benefit our mental health, increase task engagement, and improve our quality of sleep. Global social media use is increasing, with daily duration averaging 57 minutes more in 2022 than in 2012. The impact of this increase is apparent across many facets of daily life, with most people indicating improved access to information, ease of communication, and freedom of expression. Not all that is reaped is considered an improvement, though, as many people have also reported a deteriorating sense of personal privacy and quality of life, as well as an increased number of distractions. We have chosen to expand upon the literature reviewed by Stinson and Dallery in 2023, as well as replicate their intervention package that was used to decrease problematic social media use in college students. We hypothesized that the intervention package would result in decreased durations of time spent engaged in problematic social media use for all of our participants. Unlike the original authors, we decided to establish a mastery criteria for the participants and to continue tracking data during a maintenance phase, where the intervention was withdrawn. These additions were made because we suspected that continued success beyond the intervention would be apparent in the data. Being full-time online graduate students with mild to moderate internet addictions, we are at a greater risk for developing a progressive disorder due to the need to regularly interact online. The addiction levels were set by the internet addiction test by the Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur's 2021 test. Stinson and Dallery 2023 presented data regarding problematic social media use and defined the term using the diagnostic criteria for alcohol abuse and dependency as it was outlined by the American Psychiatric Association and the DSM-IV revised. The researchers suggested the need for an intervention that could successfully decrease the duration of time spent engaged in problematic social media use and its negative impact on mental health, task engagement, and quality of sleep. The study consisted of a multiple baseline across participants design that utilized a package intervention. The intervention package included the setting of social media application limits, the use of contingency management, and the selection of alternative activities to engage in. Participants included undergraduate students recruited via Facebook who had all scored at least 31 on a modified internet addiction test. The results indicated that the intervention package was successful for 8 out of 9 participants for decreasing their problematic social media use. This slide graphically displays the multiple baseline across participants research designed by Stinson and Dallery. The first graph on the left includes a withdrawal design where the intervention was withdrawn and reintroduced due to the data of these 3 participants having a low percentage of non-overlapping data points. The within condition visual analysis confirms a change in level for all participants except participant 13, who was indicated to have had low treatment integrity throughout the intervention. Problematic social media use has been found to be correlated with negative mental health symptoms. I will touch on 4 studies that have demonstrated this correlation. First is Berryman, Ferguson, and Nagy in 2017, who conducted a correlational study on the topic. In their research article, the authors wondered if social media use could lead to isolation, loneliness, decreased empathy, or more significant mental health problems such as suicidal ideation. The authors also studied whether vague booking indicated any negative mental health outcomes. Vague booking was defined by the authors as the practice of posting unclear but alarming sounding posts to get attention. The participants of this study included 467 undergraduate students attending a university from the southeastern region of the United States, who had all completed surveys regarding their demographic information, social media use duration, self-scored importance of social media engagement, vague booking tendencies, and mental health symptoms, as well as the social supports. The study confirmed the correlation between social media use and negative mental health outcomes. Swall, Goldstein, Wright, and Rosen in 2022 also sought to objectively measure problematic social media use and mental health through a correlational study. They wanted to know if social media or smartphone use predicted depression, anxiety, or social isolation. The researchers used Apple's Screen Time application to collect data. The data collected from the Screen Time application was used to provide insight into associations between objectively measured digital technology use and psychological distress among young adults. The participants included 384 adults who were iPhone users between the ages of 18 and 35 and were U.S. residents. The participants were recruited via an online participation recruitment platform that specialized in academic research. The results of the study showed that there were higher than average rates of depression and anxiety and average levels of social isolation for those participants who have higher duration spent on social media. Another study was from Yugu, Idemundi, Chukwu, and Own de Blue in 2023, which conducted a 3-part correlational study to determine the effect of social media use on depression. The Social Media-Induced Depression Tendency Scale was used to investigate 3 domains of social media use in depression, including sensitivity and attention-seeking, worthlessness, and escapism reality avoidance. Participants of the first part of the study included 361 undergraduate students who participated in a 41-item questionnaire. The second part of the study included 591 participants who used the Social Media-Induced Depression Tendency Scale. From there, responses were compared to the Depression, Anxiety, Stress Scale and the Big 5 Personality Inventory. This was done to ensure reliability of the Social Media-Induced Depression Tendency Scale. The final study then included 658 participants who assisted determining the predictive validity of the Social Media-Induced Depression Tendency Scale by completing an 11-item social orientation scale. Their results found that in regard to social media on depression, women are more likely to be associated with worthlessness and escapism reality avoidance. They also noted how reckless social media use, such as concerns about likes and comments, or creating fake posts to change others' perspective on how your life really is, can lead to a negative impact on your own well-being. Zhao conducted a correlational study in 2021 to explore the impact of social media use and media addiction on subjective well-being. The researcher contrived a study including 370 undergraduate and postgraduate students in China to see how well social media may impact the lives of college students. Throughout the study, students were given multiple questions using a Likert scale. The results indicated that those who fell into the addiction category also presented subtle mental health concerns, more so than those that were identified as non-addicts to social media. The impact of mental health was due to the lack of physical social connection, as many use social media for the entertainment use and were determined to cause students to fall under the addiction category. Problematic social media use and academic performance in university students has also been found to be correlated. This was demonstrated in Lau in 2017. Lau conducted a correlational study with the purpose of taking an in-depth look at the university students and social media usage. He observed that social media has become an epidemic that affects the daily lives of these students. Researchers took a sample of 348 undergraduate students at a university located in Hong Kong. Participants were recruited via mass email to those currently enrolled in the selected university. The findings in the study were that using social media for non-academic purposes significantly negatively predicted academic performance. The results indicated that students who participate in daily social media usage are at higher concern rate for the potential negative impacts of social media. The negative impacts included student social well-being, disruption of class time and instruction, interference between traditional student-teacher relationship, and cyberbullying. Problematic social media use was also found to be correlated with quality of sleep. It was demonstrated by Tandon, Kerr, Deer, and Mansimaki in 2020, the researchers who conducted a correlational study and hypothesized that poor sleep hygiene would be positively associated with problematic sleep due to social media use. The researchers also hypothesized that fear of missing out, or FOMO, would be positively associated with problematic sleep due to compulsive social media use. Data were collected from 1,398 Facebook users aged 19 to 27 who identified as being either full-time graduate students or postgraduate working professionals. The results indicated that the combination of compulsive social media use and poor sleep hygiene influenced the association between the fear of missing out and problematic sleep. The primary purpose of the present replication study was to assess if the package intervention originally implemented by Stinson and Dallery in 2023, including the application limits, contingency management, and the selection of alternative activities, would be effective in decreasing problematic social media use for full-time online graduate students.